Okay. What we do is setting a proper motivation, and oftentimes what happens is that, say, when we say setting a proper motivation, I explain how to set a proper motivation, and then people, they go in meditation, and then setting proper motivation we do for like 1 week, 10 days, or every 10 day we do that. In the end, when I ask questions pertaining to the points related to what I say in the mornings, they have no clue. Then I start wondering what they might be doing in meditation, not listening to the instructions, right? So the setting proper motivation here, many importance will be covered. If you pay attention to this, the whole structure of what we are studying and what people study for whole 10-day retreat, 10 day, what we are doing here, today, the second day. So this is what people do for all 10 days in the full stretch. So if you pay attention to the morning session, the morning first, the instruction given to you, so this will give you a very big picture of what is the real meaning of your life. And instead of delving into your own meditation, pay attention to this just for 2 days, today and tomorrow morning, right? If you pay attention, there are so many things which we might otherwise not touch during the main class. Okay. So one thing which is related to the frustrations, some of you may be wondering, of course, if there are things which we do and which they did not explain, then I'll suggest you to, ask. We have a Lira here, we have the Gilala here, and we have Shaha here, and we have also the Nisimla here, right? So you can ask, and then there are many other seniors, and Ruth also, Ruth here, right? There are many others, so you can check with all of them, and then we have the Irit there. Okay, so there are many of the senior ones here. You can also ask them. Okay, so basically the point is that for the setting proper motivation, there are 3 points to keep in mind. 3 points. One is the refuge field. Refuge doesn't mean that I become Buddhist. This is not the connotation. Refuge is that I want to learn something. I want to learn how to get rid of all my miseries. I want to learn how to get the maximum happiness for myself and for everyone. So how do you do that? So for that matter, I will take the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas as a source of the information, source of the learning, source of inspiration. So this is meaning of refuge, one. And then number 2 is the bodhicitta field. So what for you are doing this practice? Initially some of you may be doing primarily to relieve yourself of your stress, to learn eventually how to get rid of my stress when I confront with the stressful situation, how to deal with this, one thing. And others may be, okay, so that I can teach others, so that I can benefit others, number 2. And if somebody, say, eventually you all come to the same point, whether you do it for your personal benefit or for the benefit of others, you'll come to see that eventually the two things will come to the same point. Meaning that the final version of benefiting yourself and the final version of benefiting others, these two are synonymous. Benefiting others is the best benefit of yourself. Best benefit of yourself is benefiting others. In the final say, final. So initially these two seem to be dichotomous. These two seem to be non-complementary. So in the final stage, we see that the best way by which to have the maximum happiness is by giving the maximum to others. And how to give the maximum to others? By being kindest to yourself. So this is what we'll come to learn over time. Okay, this is number 2, meaning how to think of, how to cultivate this unconditional love towards others. Number 2, known as the bodhicitta field. Then number 3, the purpose. The purpose of this, the morning practice. And of course today we'll do it in a little shorter version, not the longer version, because maybe some of you are very new, and if that were the case, you may feel it a little, say, very long and tiring. Okay, so the purpose, why are we doing these things? So there are three things that I'm going to explain here. So meanwhile, pay attention to all the 3 points, particularly number 3. Number 1, number 2 is easy, but it's a matter of how you skillfully, let's say, the structure, the 2 visualizations, and then if you're able to do that, then the benefit that you get is the maximum. The first one, the refuge field. Okay, visualize the Buddha Shakyamuni, who we discussed yesterday, as someone who we gain so much confidence that he is the one who traversed through this path towards ultimate happiness. Through his own experience, he has cultivated this unconditional love towards others, wanting to benefit others, and then he looked for the solution. He found the solution. He experimented himself and experienced that all his fears dissolve and all his happiness are the attracted, and then that makes him the Sugata. And finally, he went in to teach the beings, to guide the beings, and he became the protector. So this is, what his biography is. So seeing this, having great confidence in his biography, we feel like seeking him as an inspiration. So visualize Buddha Shakyamuni in front of you. And for many of you, you have received teachings from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Also you visualize His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And likewise, there are so many enlightened beings. And imagine all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And more precisely, the Aranigarjuna. Aranigarjuna, whose composition we are going to study. Chapter 24 of Mudamadhyamika Karika. So Aranigarjuna, who was revered as the second Buddha. Aranigarjuna, if you have no clue what he looks like, it doesn't matter. Just visualize the author of the text. Okay, and how you visualize them? Visualize all these enlightened beings as your very affectionate parents, very, very extremely affectionate parents, particularly when you were aged 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, when you were so vulnerable and your parents were there to give full love, affection, attention, embrace. So this makes a whole difference. The power of the refuge, sense of refuge, it doesn't depend on how many Buddhas you have visualized in front of us. Rather, it is determined by what is the feeling inside, how you feel the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be like. They are like your very affectionate parents, and or they're just like scholars. They're like, okay, great beings there, but then they say you don't feel connected, but you just for the sake of visualizing you do it, then it serves no purpose. So whereas if you connect yourself with them, that they are the very affectionate parents, they pay full attention to you, and then that would make you feel something inside. You feel like just moving, you feel like somebody's taking care of you. This is how you're connected with all Buddhas Bodhisattvas. And you visualize yourself as a very young, tender child, demoralized from the school children, elder children, they all bullied you, and you come home so demoralized, and your parents, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are waiting there to give full love, affection, attention, embrace. Number 2, Bodhicitta field. Visualize it to, okay, Bodhicitta field is to cultivate this unconditional love. And in the absence of this unconditional love, people are very cold, people are very easily getting irritated, irritable, and then say there's no peace of mind, and because of the lack of the peace of mind and the irritation, immune system goes down, and easily, as they become older, age 50, 60, they're prone to sickness, illness, and so forth because of the weak immune system. So this is all because of the scientifically it is said that the mental agitation, they eat up the immune system. So what counteracts the eating up the immune system is to get rid of the irritation. And irritation, of course, we all know through our own experience, we know that it can be reduced by the feeling of love and affection. So for that matter, to transcend, here what we're going to do is to transcend the ordinary thinking And ordinary thinking means that you have a little conflict with your parents, you have a little conflict with somebody, you become very angry and agitated and irritated. So that is the ordinary sign of being ordinary. So what is the sign of greatness? As even though these conflicts can happen, this samsara, so these things are bound to happen, and then it's not just the mistake of the other person. I also contributed to this. So these things are what is bound to happen. With our mind, maintain a very calm state of mind. More the degree of the irritation outside there, the greater the calmness within you. If that happens, this is a sign of your the accomplishment. This is a sign of your the having transcended ordinariness. So within mind, for the purpose of transcending ordinary thinking, how the ordinary behaviors are shunned, are being suppressed, subdued because of this thinking. Or for that matter, we're going to visualize the Buddha Shakyamuni. No, sorry, we visualize your two parents around you, whatever relationship it may be, a good relationship, bad relationship, it doesn't matter. Just let us visualize two of them, with only two sides, and all of them members, including your children, and everyone around you. And everyone here in the kibbutz Yehoram, and then the everyone here in Israel, everyone in the world, everyone in the entire universe. So here, how you visualize them, you're the mother, and all others are like your very affectionate children. Some of them are very mischievous, some of them are gentle, kind. So no matter what behavior they have, it's all because of dependent origination. So instead you feel so compassionate, loving towards them. Had been the case that they discovered their true nature inside, and they will not behave like this. They are not going to be in samsara anymore. So because of the self-grasping, they're inside the self-centered attitude that the beings are suffering terribly there. So you feel exceptionally compassionate towards them. Okay, this is number 2. Okay, number 3, the purpose of this practice, which is so important. The seed of perfection, like the gold or the diamond which is smeared with the very dirty, filthy oil and grease, very dirty, pungent smelling, 1 kg diamond. On the other hand, there's another diamond which is in which is a showpiece in the shop. And of the 2 diamonds, everybody, ordinary people, will go for the one as the showpiece. And we may even go to the extent of dumping the other diamond. But in the eyes of the diamond experts, they will never dump the other one. They will pick that up. For them, there's no difference between these 2 diamonds. Both are 1 kg in the weight. Both are as expensive. And they will not sell the second one, the dirty one, even for the 1 shekel less. Because they've just cleaned up what is inside. It's exactly the same as the showpiece diamond. So, the seed of perfection that exists within each one of us is as pure, is as wonderful as that of the Buddha's mind. So if that is present there, then we are not going to be affected by any external factors. Of course not. But why are we affected by external factors? Because it is mixed with the soil. It is mixed with the dirt. So as long as the dirt is there, it is not visible. As long as it is not visible, we continue to suffer. So how to make it visible? For that matter, we have to know the nature of the dirt. Nature of dirt, the nature of the defilements, which obscure this beautiful Buddha nature within us, within each one of us. Only if we identify the nature of the mental defilements, then we will know what remedies to apply to overcome these mental defilements. And these mental defilements, which obscure this beautiful Buddha nature, is consisted of 2 kinds, the gross and the subtle. The gross one is known as afflictive obscurations, and the subtle one is known as cognitive obscurations. And the gross one, afflictive obscurations, the presence of this stops us from achieving freedom from all miseries. The gross one, also referred to as the afflictive obscurations, is the one which stops us from achieving the freedom from all sufferings. And the subtle one, cognitive obscurations, stops us from achieving Buddhahood, total enlightenment, total awakening. And this gross one, afflictive obscurations, is consisted of 3 kinds: contaminant karmas, afflictions, and the active seeds. And all these three, contaminant karmas, afflictions, and active seeds, so all these three boil down to the self-grasping ignorance. Self-grasping ignorance and its active seeds. So if you want to get it, if you want to be free from all the fears of life, all miseries of life, you have to get rid of this self-grasping ignorance. Only if you cut the self-grasping ignorance, the afflictions will all go away, because of which the contaminant karmas will go away, because of which all the miseries will go away. So, how to get rid of the self-grasping ignorance? It is by introducing the counter-force, and the counter-force is none other than the wisdom of emptiness. So, wisdom of emptiness, driven by the force of renunciation, will take you to the nirvana, or take you to a state of freedom, liberation from all forms of suffering. So this is one part. Then the subtle one, the metal stains, is known as the cognitive obscurations. And this is nothing but the inactive seeds of the earlier development, afflictive obscurations, inactive seeds. And these inactive seeds, again, we see that is nothing but the inactive seeds, not active, inactive seeds of the self-grasping ignorance. So this can be eradicated by the same wisdom of emptiness, but here the driving force must be much more powerful. Driving force should be bodhicitta on top of the renunciation. So when driven by the force of the motivation of the bodhicitta, grounded on the renunciation, then this will be powerful enough to drive this wisdom of emptiness to cut not only the afflictive obscurations, but also the cognitive obscurations, thereby taking you to Buddhahood in the form of Gate, Paragate, Parasavati, Bodhisattva. Okay, so this is the whole purpose of what we're doing here. So here we see that the wisdom of emptiness is finally the only liberating part. Only part that can liberate us from samsara, that can liberate us from the cognitive obscurations and take you to achieve nirvana and Buddhahood is the wisdom of emptiness. This is the only path. So whereas the bodhicitta, renunciation, they are all the driving forces, the motivation driving forces, and all other paths that we otherwise meditate, for example, like impermanence, suffering, and so forth, these are known as the ripening paths. These will make us mature the wisdom of emptiness, ripen the wisdom of emptiness to achieve Buddhahood. Okay, achieve the wisdom of emptiness to achieve Buddhahood. Okay, with that in mind, let's turn to page 2 of the prayer book, the blue one. Okay, so since we don't have time, we are just like today and tomorrow, so I can't possibly explain all the stanzas here and there. Never mind. If those of you who are interested, you can refer to the Bodhicitta Retreat, Bodhicitta Retreat Malaysia, or Bodhicitta Retreat Jambi, Indonesia. And if you go to visit. If you visit bodhiwisdom.org, bodhi, B-O-D-H-I, bodhiwisdom.org, so there you can download all the teachings. And then, so where we did the whole retreat for like 10 days, full 10 days, and there all these explanations you will get this explanation from there. Okay. And then when necessary, some of them which are very important related to our course, I will surely explain this in the due course of time. Okay, page 2. Visualize all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas with you, and all your demon ascensions beings are with you, and you are leaving this, and everyone is joining you happily. And teach by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha with Dharma, I pay homage. And teach by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha with Dharma, I pay homage. And teach by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha with Dharma, I pay homage. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the Supreme Among all teachers, one who taught this peace which is freed of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the Buddhas and of the hearers and Bodhisattvas, who through the knowledge of all these hearers seeking pacification and complete peace, who through the knowledge of paths causes those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and through the possession of omniscience, the subduer is set forth in varieties in all aspects. the one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata, and protector to yamic prostrations, the one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble life rays, to you, the Buddha, make prostrations. Okay, page 7. Let's recite the mantra. See if you can reflect on the meaning of the words. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum te shantatagato yavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam adi mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum te shantatagato yavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam adi mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum te shantatagato yavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam adi mahashramanaye swaha. The meaning of the mantra. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well as taught by the great seer. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations through practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations through practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. You want to say this? Okay. Let's say the Tibetan one. Tibetan version. Sanye juda zoge chonam na chanjo bardo dane gyapso ching dage jinso gibe sonam ge dola penjere sanye rubarai sho sanye juda zoge chonam chanjo bardo dane gyapso ching dage jinso gibe sonam ge Chola Pejire Sangye Drubarai Sho Sangye Chodan Sogi Chonam Chanju Bardo Dane Gyapso Che Dage Jinso Kebe Sonam Gi Chola Pejire Sangye Drubarai Sho. Page 8. The next page. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I gender the man of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Page 10, praise to Srila Buddha. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the full destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened, perfect knowledge and good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme God of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, famed of blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With a supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Does feel like you, the three worlds are not incompatible, wise one, to you are prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, they feel the merit with qualities like a vast ocean. To you, the one gone to thusness, are prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the low realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies, are prostrate. Those who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue, are prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through this merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the fourfold, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the ways of aging, sickness, and death. Okay, page 15, Heart Sutra. Okay, let me quickly explain this Heart Sutra. The Heart Sutra, of course, was taught in Rajgir, and I suppose some of you already made a went for pilgrimage there, and so there the Buddha Shakyamuni presided over the gathering, and the gathering, which consisted of Aravalokiteshvara on one side, and who was actually the dissolved, who is just dissolved into reflection on emptiness, the reality, and on the other side was Shariputra. And Buddha Shakyamuni also just went deep into the Samadhi Singapore meditation on emptiness and directly. So there, the Buddha Shakyamuni, the Buddhas, when you become Buddha, you will have direct access to the true truth simultaneously, conventional truth and ultimate truth. So this may be a little technical for some of you, it doesn't matter. So in the course of the teaching, we'll see to explain this, the true truths. So whereas for the non-Buddhas who are yet to become Buddha, for them, when you have a direct access to the conventional truth, you cannot have access to the ultimate truth. When you have direct access to ultimate truth, you cannot have direct access to conventional truth. So these two things are, say, the consecutive. So only pertaining to direct experience, only when you have one, but you have the other. So whereas only when you become Buddha, then this defilement, which stops you from having direct access to truth simultaneously, this defilement will be got rid of. When that is got rid of, you can just go into emptiness directly and simultaneously get access to the whole world. So there, the Buddha Shakyamuni, while being directly absorbed into emptiness, he is constantly blessing Shariputra and inspiring Shariputra to ask questions to Aravalokiteshvara. So Shariputra stood up, made prostration to Buddha, made prostration to Aravalokiteshvara. Aravalokiteshvara is the Bodhisattva of compassion. And you may be wondering, sometimes he's referred as the Buddha of compassion, sometimes referred to as the Bodhisattva of compassion. So what is it? We are getting lost. Okay, so from the sutra point of view, from the pure sutra point of view, Aravalokiteshvara, then Aramanjushri over there, Aravalokiteshvara here, they all, and then Aravajapani, Aramatriya, they're all referred to as Bodhisattvas from the sutra point of view, sutra system point of view. Whereas from the Tantra system point of view, they're all nothing but a manifestation of the Buddhas. Okay, so what we're doing here, Heart Sutra, is a sutra point of view. From that point of view, we treat Aravalokiteshvara as a Bodhisattva. So, Shariputra stood up to ask questions to Bodhisattva, the Aravalokiteshvara. So what is this question? So there's a dialogue happening, and there are three things for us not to miss as we recite the Heart Sutra to extract the greatest meaning out of this participation in the recitation of the Heart Sutra. Three things not to miss. One is, what is the question asked by Shariputra? Number two, what is the response given by Aravalokiteshvara? Number three, what's the benefit if you practice the wisdom of emptiness as indicated by Aravalokiteshvara? 3 points, not a miss. One, what is the question asked by Shariputra? So the question asked is, how should the child of a lineage practice the perfection of wisdom? And some people, they translate it as, how should the son of the lineage practice the wisdom of emptiness? This is the wrong interpretation, wrong translation. It should be the child. Because It is translated from the Tibetan into English, and Tibetan word is pu. Pu is not necessarily boys. Pu is a common word for the boys and the girls. And if you say pu pomong, then the pu in